Hey yo, what is good? What is poppin'? It's your boy, Drip TCG, and I'm coming at you guys with a Odd Eyes Test Hands video. Now look, the main focus of this video to show you guys the consistency of the deck, which is insane. Some of the simple combos it can do, obviously, and the fact that it can almost always end on a negate before your fifth summon. This is going to be two videos. First, the test hand video, and later, sometime in the next couple days, I'll throw the deck profile. It was originally going to be one video, but I had to split it. So you might hear me saying at some points in the video, like, there'll be a profile at the end, but it's actually going to be two videos. And yeah, that's about it. This is technically a casual deck, but that doesn't mean by any means that it's weak. It's casual because going first, 1 to 2 interruptions might be able to stop you. Although going second, it's definitely gonna cost a lot more for your opponent to stop you, because this deck is definitely better going second than it is going first. But anyways, that's about it for this quick little pre-intro. Enjoy the video. Have a nice day.
We don't do that here.
But I'm gonna first talk to you about why I want to do this video. Then I'm gonna do some test hands. Actually, I want to show you guys some test hands so you guys can see what the deck actually wants to do, what it's good at doing, what it's not good at doing. And after that, I'll show you the in-depth profile at the end, because I feel it's gonna make more sense to show you the profile after you actually understand what the deck is trying to accomplish. So without further ado, let's get a good power shuffle in here. And let's show y'all what this does. Now look, as I was saying, the first thing I want to mention is why I'm even doing this profile. It's because I think, first of all, Odd Eyes are really cool and have really cool artwork. But more specifically, I wanted to do this profile because there's a lot of different profiles on the internet of this deck, and almost all of them, it's literally just Pendulum Magicians with Odd Eyes cards. And, you know, Pendulum Magicians are cool and all, but if you're gonna be mixing Pendulum Magicians and Odd Eyes, like, real talk, you might as well just play pure Pen Magicians, because there isn't really that much synergy between the two archetypes. Actually, there's a lot of things that can even conflict between them. And, you know, realistically, the synergy is real small. And like I've told many people, like, when you start mixing Magicians and Odd Eyes, and you take a good look at what the combos are and what they're doing, they're pretty much just playing a worse version of the Magician deck. Because as I said, they don't really have that much synergy. And what that does is that it makes people not look at all the cool techs that you can do and that you can play if you were playing a pure Odd Eyes deck. Which you'll see now once I get into the test hands and the profile. But yeah, basically that's it. You know, you can play pure Odd Eyes, no Magicians needed, and it's gonna be really cool, and it's honestly just a blast. The other thing I love about this deck in general is the fact that this is one of the, or probably the Pendulum deck that has the biggest beat sticks that you can actually Pendulum summon out. Because when you think about it, you know, other decks, Magicians, they're all like 1800, 1500 attack. What else? Magispectors, they're super small. Amorphage kind of sucks. Cleafort, it's not really a Pendulum deck. If you Pendulum summon them out, they all have like small attack. Pepe, they're all a bunch of small monsters. Odd Eyes is like the Pendulum deck with like the most amount of beaters in them. I mean, technically there's Joe Senju that has like one 3k dude, but you know, that's not much of a Pendulum deck. I mean, it kind of is, but it's meh. But anyways, that's enough blabbering on. Let's get into the test hands. So first test hand is very broken. All right, so I'm gonna start off with Summoner's Art. Let me zoom this out a little bit so it's a little bit easier. There we go. Let's start this off with Summoner's Art. Get you a copy of your boy, Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum. Now, I opened call by, so I wouldn't have to play around hand traps in this video. In this test hand. So I'm gonna be a little bit more reckless. Actually, I don't even think it would change my Yeah, no, it wouldn't actually change my play even if I didn't have the call by. So I'm gonna pay 500 for Arc Revolution's effect. Search out Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Now we activate Sky Iris, activate Odd Eyes Pendulum in our left scale, activate Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum in our right scale, and use Sky Iris effect to destroy Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and search another copy of Odd Eyes Revolution. Now since this was destroyed, this will trigger in a new chain, summoning any Odd Eyes monster from your deck. We're going to summon Odd Eyes Dissolver. And now, since Odd Eyes Revolution isn't once per turn, we can discard. Also, I'm going to try to go quick because I feel like a lot of these cards are known. So I'm not going to talk too much about certain cards. Because like I said, most of these interactions should be known. But if there's anything unusual, I will stop to, emphasize it. So now we get to Pendulum Summon for 1. Now we get Odd Eyes Dissolver's effect. So we fusion summon using our scales. And we get to bring out the boy himself, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. And with our 2 dragons here, for our 5th summon, we shall summon Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spears. And that's your end board. So what do we have here? Oh, and of course we're going to set the call by that we drew. So this is what I love about the deck. The board looks deceptively simple, but it's actually really strong. Because obviously, first of all, Odd Eyes Vortex is an Omni Negate. Second of all, they can't just kill this, because if they try to kill it, since we properly fusion summoned it, if this gets destroyed, Arc Pendulum triggers, and Arc Pendulum can summon any Odd Eyes monster from our grave, hand, or deck, so we can just summon it back. So you'd actually have to get rid of Arc Pendulum. And on top of that, we have Sky Iris, which is actually making this untargetable by our opponent's card effects, so they can't just Cosmic Cyclone this or MSD it. And we have, of course, Hieratic Seal, which, just like in Dragon Links, you can use its special summon from deck effect. You can use it offensively or defensively, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you tribute it and you bounce one of their cards, you get its effect, and it will be able to summon either Odd Eyes Persona, which will give you a 3rd interruption, 1, 2, 3, or what I do most of the time, because I usually don't need that 3rd interruption. It depends on the matchup, really. But if you're good with your negates, you don't really need more than 2 interruptions. You get to summon this, and this will search you another copy of Gauge 0, so, which will obviously complete your scales. And with that, even if somehow they got rid of Sky Iris and your Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum, you still have full scales in your hand to be able to Pendulum summon next turn. So yeah, that's test hand number 1. 40 card deck. Also, some of you may know, this deck is really good for going second, because of the fact that it has so many big beaters in the deck. Yeah, it's super easy to go second. Like, you can really easily kill people going second, which is why these test hands are only going to show me going first. Because going second, I'll probably make the last test hand going second, but it really just depends on my opponent's board, because that's obviously going to depend on how I want to break it. But this deck is really good at breaking boards. Like, that's not that big of an issue. So anyways, we got 1, 2. I don't even think I shuffled that well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So 5 card hand. Let's go for Summoner's Art. We are going to grab us another copy of that. Now in this hand, Upstart Goblin will determine if I can end on... actually, no, I can still end on Vortex, but... No, yeah, never mind. Upstart Goblin is gonna determine if I can make Vortex this turn or not. So let us Upstart Goblin. And there we go. We have Vortex Dragon. So I'm gonna pay 500, use this thing's effect. Search out the OG, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. scale that, scale this, normal summon, effect. We get to search. Oops, can't search that. Search gate 0. And now with these 3 cards in our hand, I'm going to Pendulum Summon for 1. I'm going to use gate 0's effect, targeting Odd Eyes Pendulum. If you all don't know what this thing's monster effect does, there we go. A fusion, I'm gonna go over. Once per turn, you can target one face-up card you control, destroy both it and this card, and if you do, special summon one dragon type fusion or synchro monster from your extra deck, but its attack and defense become 0. Has its effect negated, also you cannot use it as synchro or exceeds material. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place this card in your Pendulum zone. Alrighty. So we Pendulum for 1. Now we're going to use its effect, targeting Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. So it's going to destroy both of them, and it's going to summon a fusion or synchro type dragon monster. So we're going to summon Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. And now we have 2 trigger effects. Since these were destroyed, since both of these were destroyed, this is going to make this trigger, because this triggers anytime an Odd Eyes monster is destroyed. And this thing will also trigger because it was destroyed by its first effect. So you do Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. You put this in scale, and you get to summon something from your hand, deck, or graveyard with this. So we shall summon Odd Eyes Perform Up All Dissolver. So same thing as last time. Effect, fusion summon. We get Odd Eyes Vortex, and use these 2, which are 2 dragons, as link material. Because this just can't be used as a fusion or exceeds as a synchro exceeds material, but it can be used for links. So we're going to use them as link material to go into Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. And there we have the same end board as earlier. And just like before, once we tribute this, now I'm kind of forced to be able to summon this. I can't really summon anything else because this is going to grab me my low scale, which I shall use for next turn, which is also what I like about this deck, because I only need 3, maybe 4 cards in my hand to do my whole play. But usually I'm able to keep scales in hand, which is really important because, you know, there's a lot of profiles out there and wombo combo videos that if you look at them, they look really cool and all, but if they break your board, you know, usually a lot of Pendulum combo decks don't have any follow-up. They like spit out their hand to the board and that's that. And if you can't break me, then I win. But if you break my board, then I'm kind of screwed. So here I have full scale. So even if they do somehow destroy this and get around my 2 interruptions and they destroy this, I still have full scales for my Pendulum summon, regardless of whatever else I was going to draw. So let's do 2 more test hands. And like I said, the purpose I'm doing these go first test hands is because the deck is just already good at going second. Like, you don't even have to think too much. You just Pendulum summon out a bunch of big beaters and attack. That's what I love about this deck. It's just such an aggro deck. You literally just spit out your hand and you just attack over everything. You know, it's really oppressive sometimes going second. But let's get a good power shuffle here. In these same test hands like that I was doing just now, the second turn you really pop off, because the second turn, once you already have Vortex on the field, you can start going for synchro plays, because you might have noticed I play the tuner guy. Well, you'll see him at the end, but I play the Odd Eyes tuner. You can do a lot of stuff. You can do some crazy fusion plays that aren't just Vortex. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Alright, perfect. So already with these 3 cards I have pretty much all I need, but I'm going to Upstart Goblin, because if I don't get a dragon monster, it doesn't matter what, literally any dragon monster, I won't be able to end on seal. So let's Upstart Goblin. Oh wait, okay, this works. Oh, okay, you guys are gonna see something really cool. because this counts as a dragon. Actually, it's really good that I drew that. You guys are gonna see, this is really cool. So first of all, we're gonna activate Spiral Flame Strike. I get to search any level 7 odd eyes from my deck or extra deck. Let's put this over here. So we're gonna grab the boy, Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum. And you should already be familiar with this. Left scale, or I should say right scale, left scale, Pendulum Summon. So we're gonna Pendulum for 2, and this is gonna get really cool really quick. Check this out. First of all, we're gonna do this. It has the same effect as this dude, except what it summons is different. So look over here. It says, once per turn, you can target one other face-up card you control, destroy both it and this card, and if you do, special summon when dragon type exceeds or pendulum monster from your extra deck. So this dude summons fusion and synchro. This dude summons pendulum and exceeds. But attack at defense 0, effects negated, cannot be used as material for synchro or exceeds, and if this card is destroyed in the monster zone, you can place it in the pendulum zone. So we're going to zoom out. So we're going to use this thing targeting Odd Eyes. They both get destroyed, and since it destroys first and then summons, you can now summon this very Odd Eyes back, obviously to the EMZ. Let me actually put my field center, the best field center, because we have All Might, but we also have, actually let me, just so you guys can see, we have All Might, but we also have the boy, Astrograph Sorcerer. And now in a new chain link, you have 2 chains. You have chain link 1 this, and chain link 2 this. This is going to put itself in the scale, and this is going to summon a Odd Eyes monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So we're gonna summon Odd Eyes Dissolver. I never read his effect at the beginning of the video because, you know, I thought most people knew it, but just in case y'all don't know what he does, he says, during your main phase, at the bottom, it says, during your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using this card you control as fusion material, as well as other monsters you control or cards in your pendulum zones. And if you notice, he is a Odd Eyes monster, which is why we can summon him off. So back to what I was doing. Now normally I would fuse with him right now, but I'm gonna do something first. I'm actually gonna use this thing's effect targeting here. So they're both going to get destroyed. I get to summon a synchro or fusion dragon monster from my extra deck. So I'm going to summon, where you at? We get to summon this boy. And now in a new chain link, since gate 0 was destroyed by its first effect, it gets to put itself in the scale. So now, if you notice, basically, this, before I activated that effect, this is what my field looked like. And now, this is what my field looks like. So that's, that way you basically turn this guy into a dragon, which is why when I drew him earlier, I was like, oh yes, great. I'm glad to see him, because I literally needed any dragon, and this basically counts as a dragon, same as this. So now, we're going to use Odd Eyes Dissolver's effect. We're going to use him and this in the scale to fuse. We're going to fuse into Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. And we're going to use these 2 guys to link, since they are 2 dragon monsters, into Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Same end board as before. With the same concept. You bounce something, you get your scale, and next turn you can pop off and do all sorts of things. I'm gonna do one last test hand, and once I finish that test hand, I'm gonna also I'm gonna play it out like after the first turn. So I'm gonna play out what I would do on my second turn, so you guys can more or less see the different things you can do with this deck. So let's do one last power shuffle. But just, if anyone wants to give me any feedback on this video, please let me know in the comments. I'm not a Yu-Gi tuber, or I'm not a YouTuber at all. I'm just some guy that loves Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really want to profile this deck for the reasons I mentioned, because, well, I really believe this deck should be played pure. And it's just better. It really is better playing it pure than playing it with magicians. Like, if you play it with magicians, guarantee you're just playing magicians with odd eyes cards mixed in it. But like, the odd eyes and magicians don't do anything together. You're literally just playing another version of magicians with extra steps, so to speak. So anyways, we got this. So normally I would save this card and I wouldn't use it at all, because I don't need to use it. I don't need to use it, and this card is broken after the first turn, because it can destroy opponent's cards or search me whatever I need from my deck. But I do need to play around hand traps, because my opponent might or might not have any hand traps, so I gotta be careful with that. So I'm gonna start off with this, and I'm gonna search off the OG Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This dude's important for something I'll mention in a sec. So now, let's put these down here. We're going to activate Sky Iris, activate Odd Eyes, and activate Odd Eyes Arc in our Pendulum zones. Sky Iris effect, destroy Odd Eyes, search, Odd Eyes Revolution, effect, summon the boy himself, Odd Eyes Dissolver, because this thing was destroyed by Sky Iris effect. Now we normal summon, effect, search Supreme King Gate 0, activate, Pendulum summon for 1, and now bread and butter. Fuse with this dude into Odd Eyes Vortex, and link with these two into Hieratic Seal. And same as before, I have full scales in my hand, so if somehow my opponent gets rid of all my board, I can still left scale, right. Obviously this is going to search something else. This searches my low scale, high scale, pendulum summon, brrr, and kill my opponent. So yeah, so let's play this out. In this case, since I already have a low scale for next turn, because this can search me any low scale, on my opponent's turn, when I activate Hieratic Seal, I can summon from the deck. Where you at, boy? Odd Eyes Persona for a third interruption. So this is going to obviously be able to negate any extra deck monster they have, assuming they're playing an extra deck, which most decks are. I faced against a Monarch deck the other day. That was horrible. I mean, it still won, but God, that's horrible. Monarch with True Draco. Anyways, let's say they destroyed Sky Iris. Hell, let's even say they destroyed Arc Pendulum. Let's just say they went ham and they did all sorts of crazy stuff. And this is basically my board. This was probably getting destroyed too. Let's say this is the only thing that survives. So obviously let's shuffle. Let's just draw a card. That's broken. Actually, it didn't really matter what I drew. Anything I drew was good. Yeah, I mean, really, I don't even have to think much. I can do that. Yeah, no, there's not really much to think about, honestly. Like, this is gonna go search out this dude, normal summon, effect, search gate 0, left scale, right scale. Now we can pendulum summon for 2, so we can summon out Odd Eyes and this dude, put it in attack position, and already here I have 3 beaters with 25, 25, and 27. But what I do from which can obviously attack over his monsters, but what I do from here really depends on his board. Because, for example, if he has a monster with 2500 or more attack, I can do the spiciest play in this deck, which is to crash one of my monsters. So for example, let's say he has invoked Mechaba, and I want to crash into it. It doesn't really matter if he boosts it with Alistair or not. I don't care if I kill him or not. I just want to crash into it. Why? Because this is going to trigger. Because an odd ice card... Oh, this goes here. Because an odd ice card was destroyed. So this is going to trigger. Which is going to summon Odd Ice Wizard Dragon. Now, Odd Ice Wizard Dragon is low-key the single best monster in the deck outside of this. But this is good for its scale effect. But I swear to God, this card is so ridiculous. And it saddens me. It genuinely saddens me anytime I see a profile that doesn't have this dude. Let me show y'all his effect. So the first effect is a way to summon him out. It really doesn't matter. The important effect starts here. It says, if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your deck or graveyard except another copy of itself. Then you can add one Spiral Flame Strike from your deck to your hand. Notice this isn't once per turn, which will come up in a lot of duels. So what this means is if they have a monster that I can't beat over, I can just crash with this. This will then my Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum will summon this out from deck. Then this dude, he also has 2500. I can crash him into the same monster. And then his effect will trigger. I can summon anything out from my deck. So let's just say I need to get over something. Let's say he has a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon that I need to get over. I can summon out Odd Eyes... What's your name? Odd Eyes Phantasma Dragon to my field. And then I get to add this. So it's basically a +1. And this card is also insane. Check this out. The first part of its text is basically a way to summon it out. It says if you have 2 cards in your Pendulum Zones and an Odd Ice monster in your extra deck, so, you know, up here in your face-up extra deck, you can summon this card from your hand, but you cannot Pendulum Summon the turn you activate this effect. That almost never comes up, because you obviously want to be able to Pendulum Summon. But his good effect says, during damage calculation, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can make that opponent's monster lose 1000 attack for each face-up Pendulum monster in your extra deck during damage calculation only. Notice that this effect does not target. So what does that mean? If he has a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and let's say it already negated something, so it's at 4000 attack. Wait, hold up. Let me zoom. No, it's over here. This can attack into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, activate its effect, and that Dragoon will lose 1000 attack for every Pendulum monster in my extra deck. Now notice, this is only my second turn, and I haven't even done anything too crazy. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monsters in my extra deck. So it means even if I'm going against something like an Axis Code that has 5300 attack, that 5300 is going to turn into only 300, and I'm going to beat the fuck over it. And yeah, like this literally outs anything as long as it's not unaffected. And if it is unaffected, I have other stuff to deal with that. But this literally outs any monster I need to out as long as I can affect it. So boom, beat over something. This has 2700 attack, beat over something, attack. And if I haven't finished them off, then I can just go into a second seal. I would use these. So I can just go into a second Hieratic Seal. And, you know, just continue from there. They have to deal with this again, this again, this again. Because, again, if they destroy this card and this card is on the field, this will just revive Vortex. So, yeah, they basically have to get rid of this before this. And this can obviously summon another Persona Dragon from the deck for another negate. Or I can just summon, you know, my last Dark Worm for a scale if I feel the need that I want to grab a scale. And most likely after that, you'll be able to finish them off. And that was assuming that they got rid of my Sky Iris. If Sky Iris was still on the field, whoo lord, I was going to go for some crazy stuff. But anyways, those are the test hands. Now I'm gonna show you guys the deck profile, and I will go a little bit more in depth as to what the cards do, just in case anyone doesn't, isn't too familiar with the cards. So that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. This was originally going to be one video, as I said at the beginning, but I had to split it in two because it was just going to be too fucking long. So yeah, expect the deck profile video soon in a couple days, and hope you like it. If you have any feedbacks or any suggestions, you know where to leave them down below the description, the comments. And yeah, that's about it. Take care. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace!